Andy Austin here with another metaphor analysis. Now I've got a bit of a montage going on the screen, mostly because I'm playing with new software, still working out what to do with it. I've got the knowledge of how to use it, I haven't got the artistry or sophistication to make it look nice. That hopefully will come later. Okay, let me read you the metaphor that we're going to look at for this one. It's already up on the screen there. She is pushing a mountain to her right, and if she tries to climb the mountain, it all crumbles down around her and feels dangerous. To the left, there is deep water as far as the eye can see. Behind are mountains, and in front are fields and grass stretching to the horizon. Right in front are low walls that look pretty and have flowers growing on them, or growing in them, and they can be easily walked around. And it's bright and sunny as well is the other thing. So just to, I want to talk you through my thought process of how I do this. And I've literally only just looked at this as a metaphor this morning, so I've not had a great deal of time to process it myself. As I go through, if there's things that I miss, do please add them in the comment section, especially with the idioms. Crowdsourcing idioms for these kind of things is phenomenal in terms of what we can get, because everyone has a slightly different view and different lexicon by which they can call upon for the idioms. So the first thing I will do, as the client describes the metaphor, I'm doing two things simultaneously. I'm picturing the symbolism around the client, so I'm picturing where the mountains are, whatever else. I have it reversed though, so when they say there's mountains to the right, I'm picturing mountains to my right, but also as I look at the client, I'm putting them on my right of them. That just works for me. You can do it any which way you like. So I picture mountains to the right, and they're crumbling, and they would be dangerous to try and climb. And immediately I have reference to some experiences where I've been young and foolish and climbed up, not mountains, no chance, but I've climbed up slopes that crumble away, and they're not always that safe. So I've automatically got recourse to personal type of experience, and I've seen various movies where people have nightmare times climbing mountains. I don't know why people do it, because it's there. Now to the left is water as far as the eye can see. That's an easy reference for me, so I know pretty much what that looks like. It's bright and sunny, and we've got fields and, fields and meadows, fields and grass stretching to the horizon. And to the right in front, there's low walls with flowers growing in them. Immediately, you know right in front there's wallflowers, but we'll come back to that shortly. And I've already forgotten what's behind. What is behind? Oh, more mountains. So, lots of mountains here, lots of elevations, lots of stuff with substance. These are big, solid structures that are naturally occurring. The walls are man-made, the mountains are not. So immediately I'm getting into some of the dynamics of the landscape in which the person finds themselves. This is mostly a very natural environment, it is a very attractive environment to be in, but it's not without its dangers. But that's only if the person tries to elevate themselves. So the danger here is in status acquisition, hence the elevation. Now, this is the person who is at the base. They're at ground level, they're at the bottom of this. They're the person who starts out at the bottom and is well aware of the dangers of trying to work their way to the top. And things can come falling down around them, crashing down around them, and that could actually hurt. We know rocks are pretty hard, so the things that could actually do her harm are hard. I could then even play with that a little bit to say they're difficult, and it is difficult climbing a mountain. It takes a lot of energy, takes expertise, and it takes a lot of preparation. So the question I would have immediately in my head is this a person who is ready and prepared for the climb to the top? And even if they are, where are they trying to get to? What's the purpose or benefit? Now, immediately I know it's because that's what's right for them. It is right, and foolishly and somewhat strangely, they're pushing. So this is the person who's trying to move mountains. Climbing the mountains is a little bit too dangerous. It's not without risk, but pushing mountains, hey, look at me, I could be the guy who moves mountains, doesn't work very well. Generally, when people try to move mountains, it's not that effective. It's often an imposition of a metaphor onto what somebody else has accomplished, and it is our interpretation of that. Wow, they've done incredible stuff, they've moved mountains. They didn't. That was probably not what they did at all. But that's how we can generalize somebody else's apparent success. So now we're looking at something else between, and this is Carol Dweck's work, between effort hypothesis and reward hypothesis. She's got better words than me. Which is basically, do we think we achieve things because of the effort we put in, or do we achieve things because we're smart? Now, if you look at Carol Dweck, I'll put that up on the screen somewhere. Look at her work, some fantastic presentations on YouTube, where she demonstrates as well how fast these things can incapacitate a person from being effective in making decisions and being effective in creating some benefit for themselves or learning a new process. So now we have a person who probably wants to climb a mountain. It's too dangerous, so they're going to try and move the mountain instead, and I can pretty much predict that's going to fail. And in fact, things still might come crumbling down around them. I've seen rock falls, YouTube videos. I've seen rock falls, and they're pretty dangerous things. So crumbling slopes may not be the best place to be. Now, it's a slope. That's about an inclination. So we have a steep slope, I would imagine, so therefore there is a strong inclination. Going up is what you're inclined to do. Going down is all about what you decline. So we've got inclination and what is declined. That is built into this as well. So there's an inclination to get to the top. There's an inclination to move mountains. Now, there's a beautiful field, and it's got flowers, and it's got grass, and it's got sunshine out in front of her. But she'd rather move mountains. Well, everybody needs a hobby, and there's nothing wrong with that. Now, it could well be, of course, that if what's in the background is where she's come from, then she's actually had to come down a long way to get to the position she's in, and she's now ready to get back up to the top again. So, at some point, it's not necessarily a letdown, but it could be something she has declined. She herself is declined. She has suffered a decline, and now she wants to have an incline to get to the top. So it could well be that the position at the top is something that is very familiar to this person, and they have experience of that in the background. I'm assuming, of course, they are moving in this trajectory. Now, what we have left, of course, is the classic immersion metaphor. I'm not going to go into that in this particular video. I'm sure I've dealt with that elsewhere, but level 3 of the metaphors of movement training goes into immersion metaphors in depth. And so essentially, if we were to explore what's left, then that's going to involve a significant change for that individual, and the change that it brings about will be that of the persona they have adopted. So now we know there is a persona the person has adopted, and that is matched with an inclination, and that has been matched with a decline that is in the background. And they don't really look forward to what is out there and this open field there for them. They could be outstanding in their field, but instead they've suffered a decline, and now they're trying to move mountains when instead they could be outstanding in their field. There's probably a lot more there. Use the comment section. I'm always interested to see what you got. Oh, and please do click that like button. It helps me with the YouTube algorithm, and you never know, one day I might be famous.